In New York City, graphic design is everywhere. I see so many cool fashion ads and band posters, but when I try to make one, it still looks something like this. So, I'm going to become a professional graphic designer over the next 24 hours. Here are the rules. I've got 24 hours to plan, draft, and edit a series of 3 posters. Since I love movies, I'm going to make 3 posters for my fake film festival. I can't use pre-made graphics. And the last is a wildcard. I'll let one of my graphic design friends make up a rule. I'm definitely going to need some help, so I reached out to my friend Isai, who's a graphic designer and fine artist, to give me some tips.
Hello.
What's going on?
I'm doing a video where I become a graphic designer in 24 hours. So I wanted to ask you what your process is like and any advice that you have going into this challenge.
I think you should rip something off. When I first started, I was just recreating a lot of posters that I really like. I really learned a lot of technique from that. And so then you can just kind of have a collage, well, a bunch of different things that you like.
In terms of like process, like how do you do your designs?
It's straight out the dome.
What do you use?
My big Illustrator head, I think you just have more control height.
I want to let you make up a constraint for me.
I would say you should include something handwritten.
Okay, thank you.
4:30, I'm so excited.
I'll call you then.
Here we go. Isai's primary advice was to rip something off. So I used the first couple hours of this challenge to venture out into the city and get inspired. I first stopped by Duty Free Records, a store on Bowery where I could go crate digging and find some cool LP covers. I then took a quick trip to Poster House, a truly unique museum in New York City that hosts exhibitions around graphic design and the visual arts.
Okay, so this is what I got. Boris Buchan's poster for The Firebird, made in 1983. Yeah, it just plays a lot with shapes. I love the type on the edges. So you still get the information, right? But you also get a story. And I got a bunch of postcards, old shows, and Lester Beale's posters. This World's Fair poster from 1939. I think this is one of my personal favorites. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of this series. I think it's so minimal. That was Poster House. Then of course we have the records themselves. So Bobby's Space Age EP, published by Pleasure Club. It's great. Electronic music, kind of procedural. The design on the side of the EP captivated me. Also, it's just using 2 colors and it's so minimal. I think it perfectly encompasses the music inside of it. I also got this 90s house 12-inch vinyl. It's called Mercury. I like the blockiness of this. It reminds me of like Mondrian. It also just reminds me of like minimal modern clock design. I think this font is great that they chose for the 12. The big M here. It's the same print in the bottom, just like upside down, but it really helps you appreciate the entire cover. So that's that. Let me show you what I found on the internet. I made a board on Cosmos on fonts and poster design. I'm very into like morphing, close-ups, polygons. I like textures, gradients. I like sans serif. I also gravitate towards things that have like a physical feeling. In my Pinterest board, there are some official posters. There's also some fan-made posters. I think both are good. They both show different interpretations of the movie, which I find interesting.
I can't be here. I know better. They change on me like the weather. Pray my people stay together. I see evil. They won't let the hip hop turn into a TikTok. When my time coming, staring at my wristwatch. Fast life, know I had to take a piss stop. Slap on the wrist, feeling more like Chris Rock. Face hit the pavement. Can't wait till they call me fake when I'm famous. Applause.
Okay, this will help.
Okay, so I've got my inspiration. What is gonna separate these 3 designs? The first one, I think I'm gonna copy really closely from the Vertigo poster. I like the fact that the spiral is connected to the edge. I also think that this idea of like vertigo and tunneling can play into some form of like power, right? I want somebody to be holding a little person on the top right corner. I think they'd probably be grabbing on like this, right? We'll say this is a border and the color is going to be clay. And then let's also say we go from blue to green to red to kind of symbolize descending into hell. And these are kind of like Dante's circles, right? This makes sense for the images. What about text? It's the Typo Film Festival. And what information do film festivals typically have on them? The year, so 2025. But this is the basic information that needs to be on there. I think it would make sense for the text to kind of bend into the vertigo curve. Okay, so that is poster number 1. Let's move on to the next one. So I might copy the layout of that poster over there with the path. Maybe we'll just do that. Come back up, go down, just fill the space. Oh, maybe we can have, yeah, so we have little light bulbs along the way. We're gonna say path is beveled, gray typo. I think that's all we need to have on here. Okay, yeah, I'm happy with this one. This one's gonna be pretty minimalistic. Last one. For this one, I'm gonna take inspiration from the Boris Buchan poster and do the information on the edges, which is gonna be pretty fun. So let's already outline that since I know that's what I'm doing. So we can do Typo, International Film Festival. Cool, this is gonna be the frame. Makes me super happy because that's one less decision I have to make. There is a universe where we do some form of repetition. Okay, I see something. Yeah, story in 3 acts. I don't know how to do lips, but here we are. And then what can we do here? I like the idea of like eyes. So that's somebody, maybe they're looking up. A beautiful girl looking down. And what is the look of that? Maybe we can differentiate with color, because I know this is gonna be black, right? Off-white. Oh, let's look at the album covers. Orange against yellow. I like that. Orange against yellow. Orange, yellow, white. Okay, dope. Yeah, I'm stoked. It's gonna be really interesting getting them translated to a computer, but fingers crossed. So I'm actually pretty tired, so I'm gonna go home. I think it's midnight now, and I'm gonna pick up where I left tomorrow, and I'm gonna work on the designs on my laptop so I can send them to the print shop and hopefully have them done by 4:30.
I'm actually pretty happy with these designs so far, though they're a bit lo-fi. I've never used Illustrator for any kind of serious graphic design work, so I'm really nervous how this next part's gonna go.
This is gonna be embarrassing. What are the dimensions of a poster? 18 by 24. This is our document. I'm going to try to just kind of brute force my way through it. Design number 1 is going to be this vertigo poster. So we're gonna start with the gradient. I might just look up how to do these things step by step. Make grain gradient, grainy gradient illustrator. This looks good. I'm gonna change the direction. Blue, green, and red. Royal blue, green, or make it kind of like a, yeah. And then to a fiery red. Okay, I think it's just about that. So next up, I'm gonna be doing the spiral. How to make a spiral. Okay, I guess there's a spiral tool. I think I can affect how thick it is. We're actually getting somewhere, okay. Can I move it? Yes, I can. And then I'll make the weight of the spiral thicker. Yeah, this looks good. Make a border. Okay, it's getting somewhere. And my Illustrator crashed. That's crazy. Okay, this looks good. Stylize, texture, green. There we go. That looks good. What about soft? That definitely feels a lot better. The gradient and the spiral are done. Now I just need the typography and the hand. Now do I make the hand to be the same color as this? What did we say it was? Also clay colored. Can I make a hand from scratch? Design and this, but also I like this too. Circles looks right to me.
I attempted to recreate a hand using only vector shapes for almost half an hour, but it felt like physically hitting my head against a wall. Luckily, Barty noticed how miserable I was and came to offer his 2 cents.
Yeah, it feels like a claw machine. But this is the part of the design process, right? I'm not always as good at digital tools.
I'm gonna draw it.
I drew the hand and person on paper, then used the Illustrator image tracing tool to get a rough vector drawing of the figure. I traced it with my own lines and created a clean, close polygon so I could fill the shape with different colors.
All right, so I got a notification that the posters are done, so we're gonna go to the print shop, grab them, then head to the office and take a look. So I gave myself the challenge of becoming a graphic designer in 24 hours. I started yesterday at like 4:15 and I got on a call with Isai. Gave me a bunch of pointers and then I researched a bunch. I went to a bunch of places. I made that wall, which is like a mood board. A lot of things happened in the last 24 hours and it was kind of nuts, but I made 3 posters and I'm gonna show them to you right now.
Ooh. That's really cool.
What do you think, Isai?
This is really cool. I like them a lot. This one reminds me of like Donkey Kong. This is dope. This is like, I think this like kind of calls back to like kind of typeset like poster making, which is kind of like the beginnings of like poster making. And that's why it looks so good still, because it's, you know, it's an evergreen style.
And that's a straight ripoff from like the Vertigo poster. So
Attaboy. That's my prodigy right there.
I think the most surprising thing about this is that I have always thought about stealing or copying as this like nefarious way of making art, but it actually ended up being the most original thing I could do. Though I did copy and paste a lot of the things from the mood board that I made, the designs that came out on the other side were very unique, and I'm very, very proud of them. What's that quote about great artists? I forgot.